Hello my friend, we meet again. Today we're gonna talk about a synthesizer that was sent to me by my good friend called Anonymous. Thank you, brother. And I was wanting to get my hands on it for a very long time because it's some kind of forgotten little miracle. And today we're gonna try to explain and show you why I like it so much and why I was not disappointed when I got this synthesizer. Let's start with a little bit of history. Let's start with Junichi Miki's story. Junichi Miki is a CEO of Roland. Way back in the day, Junichi Miki became Roland's leader, CEO, GM, boss, and the first thing he did was JD-Xi and JD-Xi, two brothers from the same father. JD-Xi is a big hybrid analog synth which I obviously cannot afford, but I would love to because I really love the sound. But the smaller sibling is right here in my arms today. Junichi Miki was really betting on the revival of analog, but both brothers somehow flopped. I never used JD-Xi, but I'm sure that only 4 voices of polyphony have something to do with it, right? But at least we have this little bugger here. So, let's see, was it that bad to be considered Roland failure? Was Junichi Miki's vision flawed? Did he make a bad gear? First things first, as you can tell, JD-Xi, not a synth, it's a groove box. Don't let piano keys fool you. The main functionality of JD-Xi is making a track, starting from drums and bass lines and ending up layering pads and solos. All in this black box. Easy to set up and manipulate, you know the drill. Just listen to the presets. So, listening to these presets, I was kinda amped up, I was liking it, I wanted to do something like this. I love the drum sounds, I love analog, I love 4 parts. I was like enjoying this mini Roland Phantom functionality. It's basically a groove box and a little bit of a workstation. You know, of course 4 tracks is a bummer, I know, but hey, it's not an RPI toy like Ableton Move, it's a living, breathing classic, with basically half of flagship Roland inside, and that sweet Integra engine sound is one of a kind. It can't get any better in this weight class, and one of the parts is analog. It can be. JD-Xi is a classic Integra synthesizer. It's not god-awful Zen Core VST in the box. It's the supernatural engine Roland uses in Phantoms and a lot of different gear. Classic gear. Of course, it's heavily limited and stripped down, but still, it's a classic. Lead sound? Check. FME piano stuff? Check. Bass sounds? Check. Drums? Check. Heads? Check. Pets. Finally. Korg tribe didn't even have dedicated pets category, which is a damn shame. Roland was happy to provide me with some lush, ethereal pets from the get-go. There's also a vocoder, but I don't care about it like at all. Roland dudes sure loves to sing, but I don't, so we'll skip that. Of course, the elephant in the room is an analog part, but we will talk about it later. Now, let's go back to the digital parts. It's not just a ROM player, there are so many ways to manipulate that ROM chip. Unison, Porta, anything you like, and even wave shape. Don't believe me? Just watch. Let's take FM sample and let's make this sweet Michael Bolton intro sound into a greedy FM bass. Sequencer. Finally, the sequencer is really good. And you know why? Because in T8 and S1 and many other different Roland models, you had to input the note, rotate the knob, and then input another one. Rinse and repeat. It's awful. Here we have Donner B1, chord mini-log type. You press the key and sequencer moves on to the next step automatically. But mini-log and B1 have 16 steps. JD-Xi have 64. Probably the best sequencer ever. Well, not probably. It is. And to make a drum track here is too easy. Making a solo synth part never was easier. Even if you recorded something wrong, find a step with a mistake, press the right key and boom, fixed. 4 tracks with 64 steps. Basically we have mini Roland workstation on our hands, as I said before. Arpeggiator is present. I'm looking at you, Salami Tribe. Arpeggiator is not just good, it's flat out perfect. Not only you have all the necessary options of said arp, you also have dedicated hold button on the front panel Again, I'm looking at you, Electribe. This allows for easy going, but Roland really spiced things up and added a lot of ARP forms with gates and rhythmic patterns. How cool is that? I'm not a big ARP guy since I prefer doing sequences by myself, but JD-Xi made me a believer. Just look at it. Drums. You know why I ditched all of my drum machines. You know, Donner D1, 606, and even Roland T8. Yes, yup, the one I made a whole video about. Let me introduce you to my new drum machine, Roland JD-Xi. It has all the sounds T8 has. I mean, literally all of them. Why do I need to keep T8 around? Also, I bought Donner D1 as a drum sampler and filled it to the brim with classic drum samples 909, 808, 707. But why do I need this piece of garbage now when JD-Xi have all of them built in from the factory and in much better quality? I reckon it's 24 bits, not 16. There's literally all of the classics inside. 606, 626, very good, 808, 707, finally, and 909, and even CR78. And they are really good, not analog of course, but as close as you can get. In one box, here, right now, with me. No more downloading samples, no more converting them to 16 bits, no more clumsy transfer, and no more Electribe BS with memory cards and importing. It's a dream come true. I didn't expect that. Wow. Also, every kit have about 3 kicks, 3 snares and a lot of toms, so you don't need to tune the kick in the depth of the menu. And you can do it, but it's so much easier. Just pick one of the several already tuned for you. And it's multi-timbral, actually. I mean, you can assign all the kicks to one step to make it fat without a hitch. Let's look at it. Finally, analog part. Do you guys know any groove box that gives you analog part along with digital ones? I sure don't. It's a big selling point for me. Yes, it's a mono synth, but it's perfectly capable to provide fat bass lines and solo leads. But I have a problem with analog part. It's DCO, I get it. But sometimes when you listen to raw digital tone and raw analog tone in here, it's basically the same. Listen to this. can only mean two things. One, Roland analog is pathetic and weak, or Roland VA sound is really good. I have no problem with the sound, in fact I love the muddy tone of it. But I really expected for analog part to provide a different tone. I wish Roland would make it more 303 like, but alas, square wave allow you to get some PWM vibrato, I said vibrato, like sombrero, vibrato, but that's about it. Good thing is that triangle sine wave analog sound is awesome. My Korg Mini Low can't handle sines and triangles as many other Korg synthesizers do, but here it can be absolutely perfect. Let's see it in action. Now to LFO and filters, and nothing fancy here. Resonance is a bass killer, cutoff can work as a volume knob, or vice versa. Boring. LFO is boring also. Nothing remotely special. Envelope knob is a weird mix of gate and release and not helping much, and all of this takes up most of the right part of the synth. Why? I would much prefer to have more options for drums and PCM sounds on the front panel, cause these ones that we have now not doing much. Look, I have a high pass stuff, but not full ADSR, and I have to go to the underground levels of menu. Dear God! Basically, you will resort to use the left side of the synths. It looked like the left side was developed by one team and the right one by the other. I don't know. Roland really wasted the potential of the right side. Tiny Roland S1 can fit there and do much more. Also, you have to really help analog to shine. Without compressor, it's really weak and silent for whatever reason. And to apply compressor to it, you have to go to the menus. Oh my God! You really have to go there and exclude other parts from the equation unless the compressor or other effects is going to be applied to every track, and it's not fun. It's not that hard, but you basically have to do it for every new song you want to make if you want to use an analog part. But there's a workaround. In the depths of menu you can actually assign filter, pitch and amp LFO to the wheel. Yes, you can assign all three if you want. Then your wheel becomes a roaring beast. Not that we needed that on the mod wheel, but at least we have this option. Thanks, I guess. Are you ready? Are you ready to suffer and get your mind shanked? Are you ready for menu diving and broken UI logic? Are you ready? Hold on to your seatbelt, gentlemen. We're about to delve into the uncharted depths of the Roland menu structure. Because the effects controls is questionable. Very questionable. It's not like you have 4 knobs per function, even though it looks like that. No way Roland would make it that easy. You press FX button once and you have all 4 of effects turned on. Press it again and it's 3, then 2, then 1. Why? As I said before, if you want to exclude part from being affected by effects, you really need to dive deep into the menu. Unless you want to use one set of effects for all of the instrument, which is rarely the case. Usually I want my pianos to have some fat reverb and delay, my analog to be compressed, my chords to have some slight delay to it, and my drum to be pretty dry. And for me it means that I will know the menu like a back of my hand, and not one menu but several. Some part of it is in the program submenu, some in the tone submenu, some in dedicated effects submenu, and some is somewhere else, and you will need all of them. Get ready to suffer. If you thought that Roland S1 Predator language was bad, this one is bad ass, and it will kick your ass. Not scared yet? Huh, just know this. You can assign an effect to effect. Not an instrument, no. An effect. And the only advice I can give you is run. I don't know why Roland made such a mess out of effects section. I much prefer Electribe way, so much easier to control. I guess Roland never returned to the scheme and ditched this like a D-beam, you know. Good for them, but I still stuck with this effects panel here that is barely usable, so much space wasted. Of course there's a few quirks, small and big ones, every device has it. No slides and accents, so no 303 for you. It's kinda understandable since Roland's selling 303 version separately. And no export to WAV files. Why? Seriously, no export whatsoever. No MP3, no WAV, no nothing. No SD card slot, no USB transfer. Very questionable. You can create a full track and you cannot send it to a computer. But at least JD-Xi can send MIDI to your DAW. Every track can be sent to the different part of your tracks, of your MIDI tracks in your digital audio workstation. A function that is missed on my Electribe and on a lot of different gear. Also, it can work as audio interface. I don't use it, but some people like it. I know, guys, come on. I know you're waiting for me to say something about the damn mini keys, right? But guess what? Not going to do that. Sorry. These days, we've seen all the different size of keys. We played pads on MPCs and Electribes, embraced step sequencer as a piano, and made the cutoff knob as a solo instrument. You know? So, in the age of Eurorack, I will really going to complain about the size of the keys. Look, I'm sorry, but you can't play piano. And you never will. Enough talking. Let's play some music. Okay, the verdict. Roland JD-Xi is one of a kind device. Even its problems and bugs are one of a kind. Lightweight groove box with the best sequencer in the world and all the classic drums inside. So what do we have here? Basically, it's portable mini Roland Integra module with analog circuit, effects, a sequencer and a drum machine in one box. No more MIDI and sync cables, no more power bricks that takes up more space in your mama's basement than the actual synth modules. I literally swapped my whole setup for this and never looked back. There's some ugly menu diving for sure. What do you expect from menu horror merchants? The Roland engineering team, right? But we live in a synth world and it's not perfect. And I dare anyone to show me any device of today that have classic Roland drum samples, bunch of digital sounds, also classic, and analog circuit in one box for 400s. I'll wait. No, seriously, you! Yes, you, sitting there foaming at the mouth with shaking hands ready to type in 20 lines of debunking hysteria. Think about it. As we all know, JD-Xi was not popular, like at all, and I guess it has something to do with a device philosophy. Yeah, we're gonna use that word. This device is a music maker, not just a groove box or a synth. You start a track on a device and you finish it here. No excuses. Sit and write, then perform. Now. And I guess this was the main source of problems with JD-Xi. It kinda low-key trolled the talentless knob twisters and plugin hoarders. Oh, you were not able to finish the track because you didn't have the desired sound module or plugin. Now you can, said JD-Xi. And that scared the most of the crowd, because it took away any excuses. Make the goddamn music right now, right here. It is scary. So people ignored our little hero and went off roaming in deliberate endless search of a new gear. And JD-Xi was forgotten. Junichi's Mickey's vision was defied. But not here, not today. Mickey-san, I love you, brother. From the bottom of my heart, arigatou gozaimasu. Your legacy is alive and well in the arms of the believers. It's not over yet. See you next time.